And welcome everybody, this is Thorn with the Game Design Lexicon. We're currently playing some Colonization. Give me just 1 second, I'm gonna restart this. I want to change that filter real quick. I'm not really feeling it. And let's see, configure settings, no, yes. Let's change it to, what was I on? I can't remember. Shit, I wonder if that's it. Let's take a look at that one, see if that's any better. That was probably on advanced MAME, but we'll see, we'll see. What I don't want is I don't want all that dithering. I don't want all the faded pixel blending like on the edge of that. Yeah, let's go ahead and kill that one more time. One more time, people. So today, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through some tips and tricks on the game and how you're going to want to do this and that. And let's see if I have anything important to say. So first thing we're going to talk about is tip number 1, which is where to get the game. And that one's fairly easy. You can get it either on Steam. I think it's less than $4 on Steam. You can get it on GOG. I think it's less than $2 on GOG. I think it's like $1.49 on GOG. And of course, you can get it on like archive.org or one of the other abandonware sites. Though I do encourage anyone who's thinking about seriously playing it to purchase it. Coffee burp. And that is where you get the game. So let's take a look here. So first we're going to be starting off. Let's see. Tip number 2. Hey, X-Ban, how's it going? We are playing Colonization again, as if you've probably noticed. It's always good to have games like this. Give you kind of some recognition of what happened. I mean, granted, it's not going to be as accurate as it should be, but, you know, I mean, it'll definitely make you think, you know? It's like, what are you doing to the Indians? So, let's see. So, tip number 2, starting the game. Tip number 2, you'll have start a game in New World, start a game in America. Oh, wait a second. Let's actually, no. Tip number 2, let's change that again. Tip number 2 is RTFM. Read the manual. If you get a... Oh yeah, I love the low-res fonts, dude. As a matter of fact, all the text on my channel, if you've ever noticed, I use specifically one of these low-res fonts. It's one of the fonts developed by the new crew called a Unifont. It's a font where the goal is to collect as many glyphs as possible, so they want to collect all the Unicode glyphs. So the font itself is like 25 megabytes. You know, it's like a huge font. It has every glyph imaginable. There's no more complete font than the Unifont. Of course, the only problem with it is it's horrible. It's horribly low res, which is why I like it. Yeah. If you've never taken a look at it, do a web search, do a Google on Unifont from the new project, GNU or whatever the fuck you call it. It's a really awesome font. Like I said, it looks just, it reminds you of the fonts of the old computers, but it's not. So it's not like the old Commodore 64 font, or this one right here is even worse. This looks like a 4-point font, which is, well, no, I take that back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is a 5-point font if you count your underhangs, like your T's have one underhang. Lowercase f has an underhang. It's actually kind of weird, though, what they choose to underhang on that font. That's an interesting font, though. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. Tip number 2, read the manual. Go through the manual, read it all. It's going to give you useful information on everything. And it's going to give you specifically useful information on tip number 3, the starting menu, which is where we are right now. You got 3 options: start in a new world, start in America, and customize a new world. GIF or GIF. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either way. To tell you the truth, I don't really care. It's not like either one's wrong in both cases. So, you know, I don't really care how I hear it. And when people argue about how to pronounce it, I just kind of roll my eyes and move on. So, let's see this first menu here. Now, the 3 options, of course, load a game, view Hall of Fame. I've played it a little, so I'll have a little bit of a Hall of Fame here. So I have 3 games that I've ended, right? 3 games that it's been able to calculate the score and put it up. One including my shame here. I need to make sure that I'm changing these names. I'm not using the default name. So, 3 main ones you want to worry about are start a game in the New World, start a game in America, and customize a new world. Start a game in America will give you a continent that's shaped similar to the Americas, which I don't really like. It's kind of cool, but it's landmass from top to bottom, right? Just like the Americas are. I like a little bit of surprise, which would bring us to your first and third option here: customize in a new world, or customize new world, or start a game in a new world, customize a new world, right? Start a game in a new world is going to generate a new continent with default configuration, or you can go customize a new world, which I like to choose because I like the bigger land masses, right? So this brings you into the customize a new world option. That'll bring us to tip number 4. Oh, god damn it, my mic cable's like falling everywhere. Give me a sec here. Bastard. We get to listen to this wonderful music. So yesterday I streamed a game called Telengard. which started off as an Apple II game in, 1982, I believe. And then was ported over to the Commodore 64, which is what I was playing it on, the Commodore 64. And man, it had absolutely no sound in it. Like, there was like a few noises that it would make. So I was only able to stream it 2 hours because I had to sit there and listen to my own voice and nothing else for like 2 hours. It was just driving me nuts. So next time I stream something like that, I'm going to try and get some like royalty-free like lo-fi hip-hop or something just to play in the background. I don't know. Goddamn annoying. Anyway, so tip number 4, the customize menu. And in that menu you have what, 4 options, right? Which is landmass, landform, temperature, and climate. Temperatures, let's start at the back here. Climate's going to affect whether it's dry or moist, so the difference between jungles and desert. It's going to give you a difference of what type of resources are going to be more prevalent, as well as your temperature. Same thing. It's going to change mainly your resources, and you can read in the manual. It'll tell you exactly what these things change. I suggest you go in there and read it, because I'm not going to sit and explain it. And to me, starting off, the 2 most important options here, landmass and landform. Landmass, I like landmass because I like large landmass because that gives you a lot of extra space to move around Indians, and just in case you encounter other Europeans early in the game, it'll give you the option of settling around them. So let's go ahead and choose large landmass, and then landform. You can choose small islands, normal landform, or full continents. And I believe, when you set it on, when you start a game in America on the actual continent of America, where it gives you the America-like continent, I believe that is a full continent form. So if you want something equivalent, that is going to be continents, though probably medium landmass. So let's hit it again. So these are your levels of difficulty. Levels of difficulty are going to determine things in the game like, well, here, let's take a look here. I think I have the PDF up here somewhere. Okay, bunk, bunk, bunk. Get rid of that little menu over there. And yeah, I had Telengard up. That's funny. Book. That's from last night's streaming. So this one, the colonization manual. Sorry about the colors. I always put a reverse color on mine so I don't have to stare at a white background, which kind of sucks. So we'll go in, and like I said, always read the manual. Let's see. Where does it give? Dude, that's weird. Maybe I should open that menu back up, huh? Okay. I think I just got a colossal case of the stupids. Show bookmarks. There we go. Okay. That's weird that it doesn't give starting options and stuff. I'm sure it does, but menu bar. Oh, come on. I read this the other day, and I know it's in here. It actually explains the difference in the difficulty levels. They changed things like the power of the troops that you're fighting, the other stuff like that. Anyway, so now if you're just starting off, I would definitely suggest you choose the easiest level, like I always do. It'll give you a good idea of what you have to face and allow you to learn some of the basics of the game without having to face overwhelming difficulties. So let's go with easiest. And then your world powers. Now, each world power has 2 things that you want to note. First off, it's what latitude you start off on the planet. Different factions will start off at different areas, so and it'll give you, intersperse them up and down the map. Hopefully, when a world power starts, it sails completely west, hits the land, and then settles there. If not, they tend to clash into each other. So if you start next to somebody who doesn't decide to land exactly where they should land or go diagonal instead of west, you may end up running into one of these factions a little sooner than you normally would. Let's see. And the second point is each faction has a specialty that it gives you. For example, England has a perchance to earn extra crosses, which will give you extra immigrants slowly, more so than any of the other factions, right? France is cooperation, which makes it easier in dealing with the Indians. Makes the Indian hostility build up slower, which is awesome. Spain is kind of the opposite of France. They have a bonus on beating up the Indians. So if you do want to subjugate the Indians, Spain is the way to go. And these all kind of dictate a little bit of like your extra play style of how you want to play it. Lastly is, of course, the Netherlands, whose specialty is trade. The prices in Europe degrade slowly, more slowly than they would with the other three factions, which allows you to get more money longer until you finally revolt. Typically, when I play, I either play England or the Netherlands. Today, let's go ahead and start off with England so we can just get the extra troops, right? Or not troops, but colonists. And let's change my name here. Walter Thorny. Let's see. And then it'll give you a breakdown of whoever you chose. In this case, it says colonies become havens of religious freedom. So because of that, I get, here it is, English players require 2/3 the normal number of crosses to generate immigrants. So if you're earning crosses in there, it only takes 2 out of 3 to get as many recruits on the docks as it would any other one. Holy shit. Cute little dog there. For the greater glory of England. Now this screen here is actually kind of interesting. You can sit and read the text to it. Now, in the old days, you had to wait a pretty long time for this to finish because it's actually generating your world in the background right now. So it wouldn't actually finish this until it finished generating the world and then you clicked a button. But you'll notice that I can click a button right now and finish it because I'm operating on DOSBox and it generates it really quick. Also, another thing about the different factions that I forgot to mention is if you do start off with the Netherlands, you start off with a better boat, which is kind of cool. You start off with a trading fleet or something, one of the caravels. I can't remember what they're, or not. Oh, I have a caravel in this one. You start off with one of the larger boats that has 4 trading slots rather than 2, like your normal one. So, okay. So let's head west. Let's like the village people, let's go west. Okay, discovery of the new world. Let's see, let's call this about Thornland. We found uncharted land. Now that leads us to, and I'm writing these down as I say them, tip 5, and that is where to settle. Now, one of the things you want to do is you want to settle as quickly as you can, one way or the other. You want to make sure that you're not building your towns next to an Indian village because that will rob you of the space that you can cultivate. And you also want to make sure that you're at least 2 spaces away from an Indian village if you can possibly manage it. So as quick as possible, you want to land and make sure you're making your village not right next to an Indian village and preferably more than 1 space away. So, in other words, where I landed is a poor place to build a village. So, now you do want to make sure that you're building your village as a coastal village. for sure, because the coastal villages have the option of being able to trade with the... I can't settle there, dude. If you're... Oh, no. If you're on the land and you're landlocked, your boat can't get to you. It's a lot of ocean there. Wonder if I should go ahead and settle there. Yeah, let's go ahead and put our first place there. Probably not a great idea, but we do want to get somebody down as quickly as we can. Okay, so initial town management. You have a few choices, right? You can start to build your town up, or you can start to build trade goods. Right now, it initially starts me off with trade goods. I'm going to be building furs in addition to the furs that the town is building. Oh shit, I forgot to do another thing here. So let's go to... Damn it. Tip 6. Options menu. So when you first get into the game, one of the first things you should do is go to game options. And select your game options. I don't really like viewing Indian moves. I don't like showing foreign moves because it takes time. I also like my pieces to move fast, so I don't have to sit and wait as long as I possibly have to. I also don't want it ending my turn without me explicitly telling it to end my turn. That way, if I forget to do something, when that end turn thing comes up and it asks me to click on it, I can make sure that I'm remembering that there might be something that I need to do. Also, after your first or second game, probably going to want to turn off tutorial hints. So, let's see. Go back to tip number 5, where to settle. Again, you're going to want a coastal town. You're going to want a place you can get to with a boat. And you also have to remember that... Well, actually, I'll go over that later. So... Sometimes I'll explore with my initial, actually, let me a sec. So when you got an into your map here, you're always going to have one away from your actual settlement, and each one of those is a resource. This guy's going to have a lot of fishing. It's a really bad place to have settled, because I have 3 things of ocean. It's going to make it to where I'm going to be able to have a lot of internal industry, because I'm going to be able to use these oceans for food. But I don't really have much of anything else, so... We should be fine with it. I'll just want to lay down another town as quickly as I can, so... This is the end of turn thing that I was telling you about right now. You want to, you know, make sure you've done everything that you can do. Let's see... Yeah, that's good, that's good. You also, on your sidebar display, mini-map, date, how much gold, how much tax, your location, etc. Okay, so tip number 7. First trip back to England. Or not England. Well, I guess it is England. First trip back to Europe. Now, one of the things you always want to do on your first trip back to Europe is you always want to hit that recruit button. And one of the options is almost always going to be Seasoned Scout. Grab those in addition to anybody else that they've piled up on the docks. Get them going. Okay. Continental Congress. Let's see. Tip number 8. Continental Congress. Now, I can't stress any further on this. Read the manual. The manual lists what every one of these does. For some reason, they're not listed in the game anywhere, which kind of sucks. So you'll definitely want to make sure you're reading the manual for that. One of the things that I can stress is, let's see. Give me a sec here, Congress. Oh, that's not what I want. So in the manual, it'll give you a full list of what all of your Continental Congress members do. And you'll definitely want to consult that before choosing which Continental Congress member that you want to take on. However, there are some that are kind of like almost like you want to choose them more than anything. One of them, for example, is one of the most important ones that I can think of is going to be Peter Minute, Dutch West India Trading Company. Let's see, Peter Minute, 1580 to 1639, Director General of the Dutch West India Company's colony in America. He bought the island of Manhattan from the Indians for $24. Once Peter joined your Continental Congress, you no longer have to buy land from Indians, which gives you a great advantage of not having to pay for land. So what I'll do is, he's a trade advisor, and I don't have him there, so I'll go ahead and choose that trade advisor so I can cycle those guys. And let's go ahead and use him to explore until I get my explorer over here. Okay. You also want to make sure you're using the quick keys, but choosing carefully, because having ships sail back to London when you don't want them to sail back to London sucks. So pay attention. Okay. Now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of scouting out my area. What is my ship doing over there? Indians give you stuff as you... Oh, god damn it. My ship's caught in a loop. Okay, so now I'm going to take this guy back and send him back to guard that town. Okay. So now these guys have arrived. I can have them start to build up the village. And I'm going to also have trade goods that I can take back and start to get money. So let's go ahead and have this guy start to do lumberjacking it up, so we can start building stuff to work with here. And scout's going to go. Let's load this guy up with what little we have. No use in trying to build it into something at the moment. So now with your scouts, and I'm going to add this as, let's see, tip 9, scouts. Now, what you want to do with your scouts, I usually have anywhere between 2 to 3 scouts going when I can, but of course you'll always start off with just one. You'll want them to mainly go from Indian village to Indian village. So, explore the Indian villages, learn what they train, and you'll see what I mean in just a minute, and learn what they trade. Shit, I'm gonna need to get out a chart here real quick. Okay. So let's get this guy, and let's have him just go ahead and travel to that capital right there. And this guy can go ahead and head back to London already. Where the fuck is he going? Oh my god. I'm probably going to be in a really bad spot to go back and forth to London. So, my first going into the Indian village, I'll ask to speak with the chief, and he'll tell me that he trains sugar planters and he trades tobacco, trade goods, and rum. Now, you can either try to remember this, or you can write it down. If you want to, once you start playing more difficult games, I'd really suggest you write it down, because you will use that information in the later on in the game. They can only train, I think, one guy depending on your difficulty level. The higher the difficulty level, they might actually be able to trade more. I'm not sure, being that I haven't played it on higher difficulty levels in a while. So what I'll do is I'll put sugar planter. Let's see, tobacco, goods, and rum. Tobacco, goods, and rum. And one of the things that I forgot to do is I forgot to put the location, which is 4740. And I try and put these in some semblance of order so they're easy to find in my little chart. Okay. And we can end our turn again. Yay! I have no idea where the hell that boat's going, dude. I might end up having to manually move him back and forth, which is going to suck. Okay, we'll go ahead and fortify that guy. You should be having at least one military unit per village, especially early on in the game, but you'll want to increase that later. This is Storm with the Game Design Lexicon. We're going to take a short break. Our music for the day is Mick Jenkins. If you do like our content, make sure you give us a follow here or subscribe over on YouTube, where we'll display this content usually anywhere between a week to a month after we air it here. I will be right back.